Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2024 Lexus GX 550 four-wheel drive in the Premium Plus trim level. The name of this color is Nightfall Mica, and it looks like a nice deep royal blue to me. Looks really nice. Sun's not really shining today, but hopefully you can get an idea of what it looks like. Now here in the front, it has the full 360 camera system, which works really good in this vehicle. There's one of the cameras here. The Lexus emblem also serves as the radar adaptive cruise control sensor. Now the headlights are a multi-projector system. So it's a triple beam, triple projector LED turn lights, and also an LED fog light. There's also active grille shutters back here as well. Now you can see the fog light right here, and then there's a cornering light right here. So as a dedicated little projector as a cornering light. So looking at the side of the vehicle, it doesn't have any like black cladding or anything. It does have some gloss black, but there's no, like rugged black cladding on the side or anything. It does have gloss black wheels, and then the accent right here, I don't know if you can tell, but that is gloss black at the bottom, right above the side step. Body colored handles, has privacy glass, and then it's kind of solidified with the gloss black pillar here. This is what the key looks like. And it's a full proximity system. You can have the Lexus emblem there, and basically you just keep it with you. But it does have some buttons, lock, unlock, the ability to open up the power liftgate and a panic button. But as long as it's in your pocket, in a bag, as long as it's with you, there's a little indicator right here to lock the doors. You can put your finger or hand over it. To unlock it, you simply put your hand behind the handle. It'll sense your hand position, sense the key on the outside of the door, and allow you access to the vehicle. There's also a physical key location here on the driver's side only. And the physical key is inside the key fob. So this threshold area where the step is, I typically on this vehicle step over the step. I don't step on the step. It kind of gets in my way. So depending on how tall you are, you may need the step, you may not, but this one comes with it. So the inside of the door here, you have the soft touch surfaces. Basically, on the Land Cruiser version of this vehicle, the one I drove, all this was hard plastic. So this is all soft touch here, 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 and here. And then it has this wood grain looking pretty cool. And this is all perforated brown, looking nice. Little subtle dark blue stitching right in here. Then you have the pocket at the bottom. This is enclosed. You can utilize that as a pocket if you want. There's the Lexus sill plate. Power seat here on the passenger side. You can raise it, lower it, tilt the back, and two-way lumbar adjustment. A lot of adjustments there for a passenger seat. These are heated and vented seats, looking really nice. Has the brown there in the center, and then the kind of looks black. It looks like it's not quite dark enough to be black, kind of like a greenish tin, I guess. But they are comfortable. No problem getting in and out of the vehicle and getting in a comfortable position with these, especially with all the adjustments there. There's the floorboard there. The floor mat snaps in place. It does have a locking glove compartment. You press this button to lower it. Smooth plastic and a little shelf in there to keep it organized. There's a little pocket right here, and it is smooth plastic in there, so whatever you put in there is going to slide around. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, it's a little quick access, little, I guess, shelf you can say. It does have a handle here. Now this is a soft touch, kind of rubbery soft material here. The opening there in the front, you can see you're not bumping your head. There's plenty of headroom and plenty of room to get in and out. Like I mentioned, I kind of just step over this step. It's not really necessary for me. Now the back door, I wish the swing of the door was a little bit better because we have a little bit less space right in this area to get in and out. So if they were to make the door swing out a little bit more, I think it would help. So the back door, we have the soft touch here, here, and here. And then the bottom, like the front, is the hard touch surfaces. But very similar styling here. Basically a bench seat, armrest with cup holders. There is the latch system for car seats on the outer seats, but not the inner part. There's the mat pockets on the back of the seats. It does have a hump in the middle, but not huge, but it gets in the way. USB ports there, and the climate control and heated seats back here. These seats flip up. which gives you a little bit of space here to get to the tiny back row, third row back here. There's 2 seats back there, and there's no car seat attachments or anything. But it does have USB ports there. These are power seats, so they power fold. And then there's the cup holders. There's tie downs. But yeah, if you're tall, if you're like not a kid, basically, these seats are gonna be a little bit uncomfortable, especially if you're sitting back there for a while. But it does have the third row, and there's a little bit of space between the seats, so that way you don't try to cram 3 people in those seats, I guess. And the headrests, when they're flipped up, they do, limit your visibility a little bit. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, it has a body-colored shark fin antenna there at the top center. There's a third brake light in the rear spoiler right there. And of course has a rear wiper. It also has the ability to lift up this glass. You can press that, and we can access some stuff here from this direction. Especially if it's like crammed with a bunch of stuff, you can get it from the top. Really nice LED taillights, turn signals, everything LED back here as far as the lights. The backup camera is offset, kind of tacked on there with a tag. Looks like an aftermarket deal, so hopefully one day they'll integrate it in the vehicle. It has this huge bulge back here for the tow hitch, so it's covered up, but probably be best to leave it uncovered. It might look better, I don't know. Parking sensors back here as well. The exhaust is fairly well hidden. So let's go ahead and open this up. We can, of course, use the key. Let's press this button here. Lifts up. The underside does have a speaker and our touch surfaces here. And if you have all the seats occupied with passengers, this is your cargo space. So got enough room for, I guess, that. Not much room back here. But it does have a little space there on the side. And I guess you can put maybe a few bags of groceries, but there's no bag holders. Like you'd think they would have some bag holders here on the back of these seats or something. But it doesn't have that. It does have some tie downs there. There is a power inverter, 3-prong, 120 volt, 100 watts when the vehicle's not running, and 400 watts when the vehicle's running. Then you have these power seat switches here for lowering these seats. Under this is a little tiny spot to put some stuff, extra things, I guess. There's tools for the spare tire. The jack for the spare tire is located behind this little cover, which you have to fold the seats down to get to. So let's go ahead and fold the seats down. So we'll go ahead and start with the right one. First, we have to lower the headrests manually. Now we can go ahead and press the button and hold it. It has some noises there. Slowly goes down. All right, so now we've added to our cargo space quite a bit. So if we have to have a passenger back here, we can have a passenger still and still have a pretty decent amount of cargo space. So yeah, we can go ahead and fold the other one down. Got to press it and then press it again. It has like a little safety there, I guess. But yeah, takes a few seconds there to go down. All right, so now you can see it's much more substantial. Now the second row seats, they can also, instead of just flipping up like that, they can also fold flat to add to your cargo space. So yeah, not too bad. But you can see when these are folded flat, they're quite a bit higher than the actual cargo area. So it's not like a completely flat floor. But once again, you can fold one side and not the other if you need to maintain some passenger space. There's 2 buttons to lower the power lift gate. One is to simply just press it and lower it. The other one is to lock the vehicle after it lowers. It has a locking fuel door, and it's on the driver's side. And it has a traditional cap, tether, and a little place to hang the cap here on the inside of the door. It does require premium fuel. Let's go ahead and start it up. I have the key inside the vehicle. Hold the brake, press the button. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Notice the floor mat snaps in place. There's your accelerator, brake pedal, nice big footrest as well. Let's take a look under the hood. To lift the hood, there is a latch right here in the very center, basically, a little bit to the right of center. Move it to the left, lift up on the hood. Doesn't take much energy. It'll go up the rest of the way by itself. There's insulation underneath the hood. There's also a seal all the way across the whole, or on the outer part of the entire engine bay. It's completely sealed up, even one here. And there's a huge cover covering up the engine. And pretty much everything's covered up here. Battery is located under here. Let's see if we can lift this up here. There we go, so you can see it. So it's fairly easy to get to. It is covered up though. This vehicle is powered by a V6, a 3.4 liter twin turbo V6 that puts out 349 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. Now it's paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission and it's able to tow 8,000 pounds. It does have a blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert. The indicator is here on the side mirror, so that little light will illuminate on the actual mirror itself when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. Now the driver's door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. Power windows here, one press up and down, and it has a laminated glass here. I'm gonna lift it up. Rear windows are not laminated and they go all the way down. It's one touch up and down once again. Door lock controls here. Side mirrors are adjusted here. It does have power folding side mirrors and you can turn it to automatically fold when you lock to the vehicle. Power seat here on the driver's seat, but it's basically like the other side. The same adjustments, up, down, tilt, two-way lumbar adjustment, that kind of thing. But yeah, pretty comfortable seats. Look good. Have that brown, and still doesn't look like black, full black to me, but looks like a little bit of a green tinted there. And you compare that to other blacks in the vehicle. To the left of the steering column, there is the parking sensors, which you can turn off. The ability to open up the power lift gate. You turn on the power inverter back there here. There's 3 presets for the driver's seat, which you can set them here. And then the trips and the odometers can be cycled through with this button, and then you press and hold it to reset the trips. And then here is the dimmer switch for the interior gauges. There's also a tilt and telescoping steering column. The heads-up display is really sharp, looking good. It looks a little bit blurry on camera, but it is, to my eyes, very sharp and not overly cluttered. It has useful information with the speed, the status of the adaptive cruise control, the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you with the radar adaptive cruise control, what gear you're in, and basic information there. But it looks good, and it's not intrusive or getting in the way or anything. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I'm 6 feet tall, and I have the driver's seat all the way back and all the way down to show you the potential legroom here. So if you're a little bit over 6 feet tall, should have no real problem. Now it does feel a little bit like overly, like this stuff right here could be pushed back a little bit, like it's sticking out too much here and here. So I just feel a little bit too confined. I mean, I'm not overly confined, but I'm just saying I think it would be better if there's a little bit more space, especially on this side. It feels like it bulges out for no apparent reason right here. Now it is soft touch surfaces here on the sides, but still I don't want to, I'd rather have more room than less, Steering wheel feels really good. It is a heated steering wheel, and it's leather wrapped and looks good, feels good. Paddle shifters there on the back. Now you notice it has this little separation here and here. The bottom part is for the radio, the volume for the radio, voice recognition, audio source, and change to the tracks or radio station depending on what you're doing. Here on the right side is the cruise control. Now you can choose the lane keep assist system or regular cruise control, or you can turn on the lane keep assist system here. And then you have the, set, resume, and cancel, all that stuff, distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. Here on the left side, this little OK and arrows and back button corresponds with the screen. And then you have a single button for answering calls and hanging up. So that is for the Bluetooth system. Windshield wiper controls are here on the right side. Now it does have an automatic function rain sensing windshield. Here on the left side is the turn signal, but also has your headlight switch and your fog light control. So you do have the DRL off, automatic parking headlights, and then there's the fog lights here. And it does have automatic high beams as well, which you can turn those on or off here on the end of the stock. Okay, so there is the screen. And it has a little bit of a glare on my camera, but looking at it with my eyes, it looks completely fine. But you can, it has like basic information like the tachometer, speedometer, it has regular dials there. Then it has the driving aid information, engine coolant temperature, fuel gauge, all that stuff. Now you can customize it here a little bit. So let's kind of scroll to the right and left. So if I go right, you can see, let's go back out of that. All right, so you have 1, 2, 3. So let's customize 1. Press and hold the OK. And now we can change what we want here, or we can change what we want here, or we can change what we want here. Then we go back out of that. So we can have 3 different displays. 1, 2, 3, and change what we want in the center and both sides. So it is slightly customizable. Now, with these dials like this, when you turn on the cruise control, the dials kind of go away, and it just has like a more simplified screen. So it changes. Also, when you change the drive modes here, it has this little screen animation, kind of neat. So it has a really interesting screen. It has the ability to have like full animations and stuff. So it's a little bit disappointing, I guess, to some degree, that the screen isn't utilized a little bit better. Maybe have some larger numbers like that. I don't know. It just seems like I've seen better. As far as a full screen like this, I think it could be utilized a little bit better. You do have the ability to have a map on the screen. So it doesn't show it now, but if I go here, so there's map 1 and then map 2. Okay, so it kind of puts it in the background, but it won't show it now because over here on this screen, you have to subscribe to the Drive Connect system. And this vehicle, in order to do that, you have to download an app on your phone and set it up that way. And in doing that, you have to agree to a whole bunch of different privacy concerns. So you can see I haven't done that, and this vehicle hasn't been set up like that. So the navigation is not going to be activated. It's not going to be usable until you do that, until the owner sets it up. So then it'll show on this screen as well as this screen. And you can see the little icons here to the left. So the first one is the navigation, which hasn't been set up. And the next one is the audio. So you have different sources here: radio, Amazon Music, Apple Music, and it has the Bluetooth devices as well. Let's go to radio here, because it does have the satellite radio, AM, FM as well. All right, so let's go here. You can pair different devices. The next one is your vehicle information. You have current, trip information, history. Keep track of that, and then all your settings are in this bottom icon here, which you can go through and set it up the way you want it. Below that, on the screen, you have some physical dials here for the temperatures for the driver and passenger, and then there's a volume knob here. So let's go ahead and turn on the climate control, and you can see these dials. When you turn the dial, you can see the number there in the center. Looks pretty cool. You can adjust the fan speed here. Turn it off, recirculate the air. Now it has heated and cooled seats. So it's a 3-stage heated seat, 3-stage cooled seats, a 2-stage high and low heated steering wheel. And when you press this button, it pops up more information as far as the climate. And then you hit this button and it pops up some quick selections here. So you can have different HUD modes here. HUD mode minimal. You can turn the HUD on and off, and then it has the full mode, which I have it on now. And then you have the max heat, max cool, silent, if you want everything silent. Over here, you have more information and more here. So you have some quick access there. It's a little bit disconnected though, because some of these things you would think it would be in the settings, but then it has a separate thing. So, you know, if you're looking for something and you're going through the settings, you can't find it, then look here because it's probably here. So here's the drive modes that I was turning that dial earlier, and it goes to normal, eco, and sport. See here where it says ECT second? That's the electronically controlled transmission. You're telling it to start off in second gear. So if you're on a slippery situation and you need to start off easy, you can activate that there. You also have a tow and haul mode and turn off the traction control. Right in here, it has a button. I like the way it's right there, easy to get to. And what it does is it pulls up this excellent camera system the vehicle has. So let's go ahead and put it in reverse or something, because that view right there isn't that useful. But this one has the top-down view. You see everywhere around the vehicle. And then there's the back view. But you see how it's kind of stretched out. The purpose of that is you can see both ways behind you. If you're in a tight parking spot and there's cars right next to you, you can't see next to it. You can't see it over them or through them, basically. You can see if there's a car coming because this camera stretches the light so you can see both ways behind you. It does have rear cross traffic alert as well. But being able to just have a certainty with a visual inspection there, looking at what's behind you, is excellent. And the top-down view is even great too. And then when you have it in drive and the camera's on, it'll give you the front view here. So you also have the active guidelines here, which you can turn on or off. So as I turn the steering wheel, you see the lines there will pop up. It also has this little button right here. This is great. If you have this on, which is on now, that's what it looks like when it's off. But when you have that on, it will, when you slow down, I think it's like 5 miles an hour or lower, it pops the screen up automatically, which is really good for parking spots and stuff. When you're pulling into a parking spot, this automatically pops up and you can nail it, basically, just like I did. But as you move the vehicle, watch right here where this vehicle is. It actually uses the camera system to see and kind of takes a picture of what's underneath the vehicle. So if I move the vehicle, it'll fill in what's underneath it and make it look like the vehicle's transparent. And you see that black turning to what's underneath the vehicle. And then you can see that those lines line up pretty darn well. So it does a good job of keeping everything consistent with, you know, what's underneath the vehicle. So we'll keep on going until that black goes completely away. All right, so now when we put it in reverse, it already saw behind us. So now it's keeping up with that, right? So all it has to do is get a scan of what's in front or back of the vehicle, and it's able to, you know, maintain that invisible look, and you can see basically what should be underneath you anyway. If these cameras get dirty, there's a button right here to go ahead and wash them. So here's the four-way flashers, and over here is USB ports. This one is to just simply charge, USB-C charger. This one's to connect with the system. There's a 12-volt power supply here. And then this pulls back, and there's a cup holders. And the shifters here. It's pretty straightforward. There's verse, neutral, drive, and then it has a manual mode here that you can bump like a ratchet shifter to change to the gears instead of these paddle shifters. Electronic parking brake is here. Auto hold is here. So if you want to, you know, hold the vehicle when you come to a complete stop until you hit the accelerator, you could initiate that there. Now it's a four-wheel drive vehicle, like I said, and it has a center differential, has four-wheel drive high and four-wheel drive low. Four-wheel drive low would only be, and the center differential lock would only be for more off-road situations. You don't want to engage those on dry pavement, basically. Okay, so right here, this has got to be discussed. So let me lift this up to get out of the way. And let me put my cell phone there so you can see what I'm talking about. You see anything going on right now? It doesn't match the shape of a phone. The phone charger, the wireless charger right here, is here. And then there's this thing right here that gets in the way. So no matter how I put my phone in there, it doesn't fit and it doesn't stay on the charger. so it doesn't charge. So maybe you can explain to me why this isn't up here or something like. There's plenty of room here. So you can explain to me why that Lexus, all the Lexus fans, you can explain to me what the purpose of this design is for, and how, and what I'm doing wrong as far as putting my phone there. Like, who has a phone nowadays that's like this big? And even if you did, it, like, still the center of the charger is right here. So, you know, you would have to have like a phone this big, maybe. Like, I don't understand it. But I'm not. You know, I'm kind of perplexed as how they thought that was a good idea. Okay, so this is an armrest that is nice and soft and cushy, except for back here. This is nice. This is soft here. It latches, but it's a little rattly. But it's spring loaded, so it doesn't fall down on you. Lifts up, and then there's a compartment here, which I have stuff in the way. There's my business cards. Has a felt floor, and there's also this little place right here that goes in there, and it's kind of opened for some reason. I guess you can put more stuff in there, but anyways, that's the way it is. There's a auto dim rearview mirror. Has the HomeLink garage door opener controls here on the bottom. There's some tap lights here and here. You just tap the lens and it turns on. And then you have the buttons for the interior lights, all interior lights. If you want them to turn on with the door, you can have that on. And then this is for the sunroof. You have up, down, and then you have open and close. And then a emergency button here covered up, which is good, so you don't accidentally press it. But I'll show you the sunroof in a second. The visors are a cloth material, just like the headliner. And then it has a mirror with a light. And these extend out like so, but they don't go all the way. So you know right where the sun's going to be, right there. And it has a little place to put like your registration or something in here as well. The sunroof has a shade that covers 100% of the light. You can open that up. And let's go ahead and tilt it up. Pull it back down. Separate button to move it backwards. Let's press it again. Yeah, it goes a little bit further back. So looking at the visibility, with those third row seats down, it doesn't really cause too much of a problem as far as the back window. But once those seats are up, they block the back window, basically. So it's not bad. I mean, that pillar back there is kind of on the large size, but with the camera system, the parking sensors, rear cross traffic alert, blind spot detection system, all the safety features the vehicle has and technology and everything, it has not been an issue as far as driving the vehicle safely. But, you know, just it's nice to have good visibility, especially considering you don't have a rear view camera here. You just have a rear view mirror. So, you know, if they were to add a rear view camera, that would help out a lot better. I recently drove the Land Cruiser. Now, it was the 1958. It was the lower trim, but it was basically the same platform as this vehicle. But this one has a much better ride quality. It feels so much better, you know, just the driving experience, the ride quality, the comfort, and, you know, there's a lot of similarities, you know, as far as the way it looks and stuff, but the ride quality really does feel a lot better to me on this one. Now, it does have the loud engine. You know, it's a different engine and everything, but still, once again, since it's a Lexus or Toyota, those vehicles tend to be loud when the engine's revving. But just cruising speeds like this, it's fine. There's very little noise as far as the exterior noise are kept out. I hear a little bit of wind noise, but, you know, the shape of this vehicle is probably to be expected. But it is a pretty impressive ride. And the cruise control system with the lane keep assist system, even on these back roads, seems to work well. It does a good job of holding the lane and everything. Now, I haven't noticed, I've had some issues with other Lexus and Toyota with the Bluetooth system, and I think they solved that problem because last year and this year I hadn't had that issue anymore. A lot of people said they had that issue, and apparently they did a software update or something, so I haven't really experienced that. The acceleration feels pretty strong. It's not like pinning you in your seat or anything, but it does feel strong, especially when you're just driving normally. When you really floor it, like I just did, there's some diminishing returns there. Once you get that really high RPMs, it starts to not feel as impressive. But just normal RPM range driving, it feels solid. It feels strong. Transmission is pretty tight, and it's able to, merge, accelerate, all that stuff, no problem. And it does feel a little bit tall, like the suspension is a little bit floaty as far as that. It gives you that good ride quality, but when you're cornering and accelerating and braking, it does have a little bit of motion there. But, so with a soft suspension that's feels good, usually that's the case, especially if this height, with a height like this, that high center of gravity and a floaty suspension. It's going to give you that little bit of that feeling. But on this vehicle, it's not really a big deal. Some vehicles are like kind of too much and are a little bit nauseating. This one still feels solid enough to where it's not a problem. It feels actually pretty good, especially just the ride quality. That's the first thing that really impressed me was when I got in and started driving it. It's like, man, this feels good, this suspension. So there's like a normal acceleration there, and that feels best, I think. Just kind of normally accelerating without flooring it feels really good. You get up to speed quick enough, and the gear shifts and all that stuff is good. The steering wheel has a grip sensor, so as you're driving with the lane keep assist system, it doesn't bug you. Like some vehicles don't have a grip sensor. It only has a torque sensor. So you have to constantly move. Without you moving the steering wheel, it'll pop up and say, hey, you need to touch the steering wheel, or you need to hold the steering wheel, even though I'm holding the steering wheel, right? Just not moving it, right? Because I don't have to steer. I'm going straight. This one, you just barely touch the steering wheel. It can tell you're touching the steering wheel. And then with that grip sensor, and it doesn't bug you. It's actually pretty good about just you're holding the steering wheel and then you're good. There's no annoyances. It's like some other vehicles.